Monday morning.
Well, let's continue the conversation about it now with Professor uThukela Ngubane. He's the head of African languages at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He's in our Durban studio for us this morning. Professor, a very good morning to you and thanks for your time. I don't know if you were able to hear the comments that we just read out, but two different arguments, various arguments over the issue. One saying that it's the right to privacy and that it's violating the right to equality and dignity. And the other one, the Cultural and Religious Rights Commission, saying virginity testing should be promoted. It is a cultural practice. To you, what is the sensible solution here? What is the sensible line of thinking?
Thank you very much and good morning to your viewers. I think the issue of virginity test is common in Africa, and it has been a practice that has been honored by our ancestors. But we agree that times have changed, but we are guided by our constitution that everyone has got a right to enjoy their culture. And I don't see anything wrong about the virginity testing per se, because it is out of love, it is out of preventing and preserving our children from falling pregnant and from becoming victims of the blessers and sugar daddies. And if they have the pride of keeping their womanhood, I think the whole scholarship is for a good cause. And also our fellow South Africans must bear in mind that it's not only about virginity, it is also on academic merit. You can't just get a bursary because of your virginity status. There are quite a number of things that are taken into consideration before the scholarship is awarded. So people have just focused on the virginity because anything that has to do with African identity is being criticized because our minds are still focused on the Western thinking. And people saying that the Human Rights Commission saying that it violates the dignity and privacy. I think as far as the Gender Equality Commission, they need to do an empirical research and hear what people say on the ground, because this scholarship is promoting and empowering our youth, which is a good thing. And I don't think that we can just focus on one element, because out of 611 bursary offers, only 16 fall under this category, and it is on top of the academic excellence.
I mean, some say it can be seen as an incentive. Others say that it amounts to bribery. Your comments on that?
No, I think it is an incentive, and it also encourages people to behave. And I think it is a good reward for those people who have good behavior, because on contrary, we have the grant for those young maidens that have fell pregnant, and then they are given some grants as a way of encouraging them to get more children. Some of them will get 5 children just because they want to benefit from the grant. But what about those kids, our children who have well behaved and preserved themselves and waited for the right time to engage in sexual intercourse? They need to be rewarded. And I think the municipality must be encouraged and commended for what they are doing. But it is just a name only. It's not like that it encompasses every criteria for the category.
I mean, the one argument has been that to ask these young ladies to remain virgins will be to prevent teenage pregnancy. Hence, they will not drop out of school and continue to build careers out of this. And if you've heard some of the comments, others saying, what if there was one mistake? What if the person becomes a rape survivor or the young girl is raped? What then? How do we address that side of the argument?
I think the best way of addressing that part is that I think the mayor, Councillor Mazibuko, they need to review that, because once the the children have got the bursary, I think they must get it for the duration of the period, depending on how they perform academically. But to say that they will be tested every year, I think it's a bit too much for the young ladies, because anything may happen. And also, some thoughts says that it's discriminating the male counterparts, but I don't think that way, because there are also opportunities from these other remaining offers of the bursaries. But I think this thing needs to be encouraged.
Now, Prof, I mean, the reports this morning suggesting that the Commission heading for a showdown with traditional leaders. How do you think this is all going to end? Or do you think that they can actually get together and come to some kind of middle ground on this?
I think we need more conversations. I think that's what I said earlier, that they need to reach out to the people, because their mandate as gender equality is to enhance respect and dignity for both males and females. I think they must keep in mind that we are in Africa and they are Africans themselves, and they understand how Africans behave and how we can preserve this virginity, because I think our young girls should have something to pride on, that I want to keep myself pure so that I enjoy it when the time is right. And also, we must also bear in mind that the young girls start at the age of 10 and 11 to become of age, which was not the case in the past. So instead of focusing on 16 years, I think the Commission needs to review their policy, because that is their mandate, to advise the government on new policies and influence changes and amendments to the legislation, because they operate on the mandate of government. So it is upon them to conduct research and find out from the people. Like if the report or the decision was taken after an empirical research was conducted on a large scale in most areas where there are rural people, because that is where they still understand why we need virginity tests.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much for those thoughts. Professor JOHANNESBURG, Head of African Languages.